one of the most popular and probably one of the biggest ones that you guys do every year is Hal-LAW-een.
This is one night where we get to work on the same project at the same time. Last year we had almost 7,000 people.
That's crazy.
We were just a few folks shy of that 7,000.
6,960. I checked the number this morning.
So we'll pass that this year probably.
I don't want to stress Lieutenant Vaughn out, but I'm hoping for 10,000.
Welcome to the Something Better podcast. I'm Joe Conroy, the host and Public Information Officer for the City of Bakersfield. And today we've got some visitors from the Bakersfield Police Department joining us, Carina Ortiz and Sgt. Eric Celedon from the Community Engagement
Division. We're both part of the Community Engagement Division. I supervise our Community Relations Unit.
Okay.
Well, he helps me too. So we both
Kinda.
like tag
We
team.
tag team it, yeah.
All right. There we go.
Perfect. Little high five there to start things. So let's dive into that a little bit. Carina, tell me a little bit what's your role. What is community engagement and community relations? What do you guys do over there?
So historically, we were initially the crime prevention unit, and evolution-wise through time, we kind of became the community relations unit. So through the community relations unit, we provide outreach, engagement, prevention, education. So we are one of the units that hosts the annual Hal-LAW-een.
So when you say like these community engagement things, what type of things are that? Like, can you give me some examples?
Yeah, so I know we've seen a lot of different events, but you've seen our community day at the park. We just hosted with Valley Bible Fellowship and St. Elizabeth's. We were at Faith in Blue. Sometimes you see the Coffee with a Cop type of events.
Okay.
We're at school carnivals. We are at safety fairs. So really anywhere where we can get out and provide some information to our community on how they can prevent from being a victim of different types of crime. We also have evolved, so not just doing the event related, if you will, but trying to be a little bit more intentional and trying to seek out areas where we might have different hotspots. So, hey, we have this area or this type of crime trend. We need to really focus on maybe preventing vehicle burglaries, or so trying to get ahead and provide information to folks on how they can stay safe.
Okay, cool. And you're a civilian employee, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then Sergeant Celedon, you are obviously a sergeant, so you're an officer in the department. Tell us a little bit about your role and kind of how it's evolved over time too.
Sure. So kind of how my role came into play, and Carina kind of touched on it, is that organizationally we saw the value in community engagement. And with that, we got buy-in from the chief and the entire department to stand up an entire division of the police department solely centered around community engagement. So with that being said, it got an entire rank structure from an assistant chief, captain, lieutenant, and a sergeant. So in that division, I help Carina supervising the other professional staff, as well as the sworn staff in there, which is 6 school resource officers and 5 what we call problem-oriented policing officers. And we use those officers, just like she said, in being really intentional about utilizing community engagement to be a driver in reducing crime throughout the city. So whether it's community referrals or things that our patrol officers are seeing in the field, taking our officers who have a little bit more time and autonomy to really create lasting solutions to those problems, so our officers out on the street can do what they need to do, and that's responding to calls for service when our community needs them.
Okay. So how long has this been a division? How long has this been something that you guys have been doing over there?
So the division actually came to be last year in February.
So
January,
still pretty
February.
new.
Still relatively new, and so we have had some changes like we do when there's promotions and movement. And so Eric, you came into poor Eric, because he's been wearing lots of hats. So when he became PIO, that was last.
It was like over 2 years ago.
Really? It's been that long?
Yeah.
So
I can tell by his face.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
is that fun? Is that what fun is on your face? It's fun. But he was always involved with our unit, community relations. And then once we got the division, so he was kind of tag teaming. I still say you're still tag teaming kind of thing, but definitely more involved with community engagement and community relations. So
It was something that the department saw value and felt there was an opportunity to invest further into that.
correct.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting the way that, public informations and public affairs and how closely we work with community engagement and being able to get the message out and how we're doing and what we're doing and where we're going kind of thing. So it's actually a really solid fit to have Eric kind of tag teaming on both sides.
And I mean, it's written into our mission statement. You know, we partner with the community to protect the life and property of the people we serve, and it's that partnership that our division really focuses on, and building that bridge between the community and the police department, because we see it in the numbers is that when the community trusts the police department's more effective, and that's what we're going after.
That makes a big difference, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned a lot of different events and outreach type things. One of the most popular and probably one of the biggest ones that you guys do every year is Hal-LAW-een. Talk a little bit about this event. It's coming up. We have the annual one coming up here for the Halloween time. How did this come about?
You know, it was funny. It was so initially we had one of our coworkers who we've always had people at the police department that, you know, decorate. I know you guys have folks here that, you know, decorate their desks or they'll decorate a door. People love Halloween. And so we've had a few people at the department over the years who are true Halloween lovers. And so they decorate. And there was a coworker who said, you know, it'd be kind of cool to bring kids just to see those specific things. And so that was one of the initial ideas. But then you get the whole team of community relations talking, and it just kind of grew from there. And so the first time that we did the event, it was just Halloween at BPD. It was funny. We started doing an internal candy drive kind of thing, just not knowing how many folks were going to show up. And it was supposed to be tours at each stop. So like, hey, we're going to take a group of like 10 to 15 people because we really didn't anticipate the crowd that came out. And I would say the very first year we probably had close to 1,500 people that came through. It shocked us to see people, you know, a line 5 or 6 people deep, wrapped all the way around the building.
Was that 2019? That the first year, or was it 2020?
It was 18.
Oh, was it 2018? Okay.
Because 2020 was where
COVID.
we had the debacle of COVID.
Yeah.
And I say debacle because I did not plan effectively, and I can tell you I take full responsibility that I shut down downtown. It was bad. It was really bad. I did not anticipate that many folks coming. I think every year I'm surprised by how many folks come out and how much it's grown. And I think it speaks volumes about the caliber of people that we have working for the city of Bakersfield. We have some awesomely creative, talented people that give back to the community and want to share. And so I think if you work for a government entity, period, you have to have the spirit of wanting to give back. Like, you have to. That has to be part of your charge. But then to follow it up with, you know, seeing every year that increase, you're like, wow. And then there's that challenge where people rise to the occasion. That challenge has just grown. All right, we're going to do a little bit better than we did last year. And, okay, we're going to bring this a little further next year. So that's always really cool to see. So,
I remember one of those first years, because I started in 2019, so I started in August, so it wasn't too long before we had the Halloween stuff coming up, and I remember seeing the line, and it was like, I think it wrapped around City Hall North, which is my building, and so I think I took a photo either through the window or from the roof or something, and you're just like, I can't believe there's this many people that are going, and now. I mean, last year was even more than that. I think you guys had like a queue system set up out in Truxtun Avenue, right? Yeah.
So we've definitely grown to where we've had to increase security measures just to make sure for that many folks that are coming out, things to think about. And unfortunately, you know, the times that we're in necessitate that. But yeah, last year we had almost 7,000 people.
That's crazy.
We were just a few folks shy of that 7,000.
6,960. I checked the number this morning.
So we'll pass that this year probably.
I don't want to stress Lieutenant Vaughn out, but I'm hoping for 10,000.
That's awesome.
I know. I don't want to stress Carina out either, but I'm hoping for 10,000.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with how it's exponentially grown over those years.
Exactly.
I mean, it's and like, you know, kind of going back to what Carina said, some of that goes back to the creativity of the folks that are involved on the BPD or the city side, creating the environment at BPD headquarters. And so talk a little bit about that, Eric, if you could, a little bit about kind of what gets created and how the event goes on.
Sure. So I think before we even talk about that, I think it's a good representation of what our community really is. I think it's real easy to get caught up in a lot of things that are in the news, whether it's local or nationally, about what the sentiment is towards law enforcement. But the community here, Bakersfield, Kern County, we have an amazing amount of support from our community. So that's where it really starts. But I think coming back to just the symbolic gesture of opening the doors to the police department and welcoming the community in. That's where it all starts. And I think once we saw what it could be, we got buy-in from every single division, every single specialized unit and assignment, to now it's not just Bakersfield PD, it's almost every department in the city coming in and decorating and going all out to see where they walk in the front steps of the police department to where they go down to the basement to the scary part. We have a detour for a scary part if you want to take your kids to the scary part to see. And I mean, I'm going to say it. When we turn the lights on, we find shoes that are left because kids take off running or spill candy. Yeah. But that's all part of it, and it's so much fun, and it's incredibly safe, and it's an incredibly good time. And I just can't speak highly enough about the men and women that volunteer their time to come put this on selflessly.
Well, and I think even beyond, it's not just volunteering their time, but it's also, the props, the decor, the decorations, the costumes. That's all employee purchased. Like they do that on their own dime. Yeah. They're getting real creative. Let me see. Pinterest has to be exhausted at this point, but we've got some really awesome creative people where, you see internal bake sales, or folks are saying, hey, in the comm center, like, hey, I'm willing to pay $5 to wear jeans that day, and we're all going to raise this money. This is going to our theme for Halloween. So, I mean, it takes them a whole year, but there are so many efforts where it is employee-driven kind of thing that they are doing this for our community.
Yeah, it feels like there's almost a one-upsmanship among the departments, and and it's friendly competition, but it's like, oh, you guys did something last year, we're going to do even more next year. We're going to do it. We're going to do better than what you did last time. It just seems like a fun environment part of that.
It is. It's funny, from the very first year, I mean, where we did not expect to get as many people as we did. I mean, I was shooting like, man, if we get 200 people, that's amazing. Yeah. And, well over that. But I remember when the night was over, everyone was exhausted because we had no idea what to expect. We had to change the way we were doing it because we were going to do tours, and we're like, nope, prop bodies in places. We just got to get these people going through, kind of thing. But as soon as it was over, I remember getting texts from people within the department saying, hey, we're picking our theme for next year. Like it was not a if we're going to do this or what's it going to be. It's like, we're doing this. Yeah. And it was just, employees were so bought in, just like, this is my theme for next year. Don't let anybody else take it, and don't tell them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that competitive, but at the same time striving, and just, this is what we're looking forward to. It's just such a cool, positive, I think inspirational, and again, giving back to our community and seeing our community support us. It was really cool.
So remind everybody what day is it, what time, what should people know to come down here to take part in this?
Yeah, so it's going to be on Thursday, October 30th from 4 to 8 p.m. I don't know. Do you know exactly where the entrance and line is going to start?
So the entrance is going to be right on I and Truxtun. We're going to have the magnetrons there again. So there is going to be a line. I want to say the parking lot right here is going to be used so we get people off the street. We're hoping to serpentine them there so we can start the vetting process. We're going to have things gated off. We are going to have the streets closed earlier this year, just so that we have enough time to get all of the barricades and everything set, because we did have a little bit of a delay last year as far as getting things started. But it starts at 4. The line closes at 8, meaning if people are not in line by 8 p.m., then they can't get in line to go through. So if you're in line at 8, you're going to go through. Yeah.
Be here before 8, between 4 and 8. Is there, Eric, you talked a little bit about kind of the scary part. Is there kind of a minimum age, maximum age? Like, are there any limits, or like, oh, my kid's little, I don't want them to be freaked out. I want them to have a good time. Like, is there kind of options here?
So this event is inclusive for all ages.
Awesome.
We do offer that scary detour, but there's a very obvious delineation where if you want to take your child down there, you can do that. If not, they can continue through the not scary path and completely avoid that aspect. So we leave that up to the parent, to their discretion, to make that decision for their child or not. But there's a very clear delineation about whether they want to go down there or not. But other than that, we have infants, newborns that go through there, and all that other stuff. But it's family friendly for everybody.
Is there anything else people need to know, like what they can do or not do if they're coming down?
So we know that families sometimes do themes in their costumes. So we, again, want to encourage that. But as far as adults coming through, no masks.
Okay.
For adults need to be able to be seen. And candy is strictly for the kids that are present. I know sometimes we might have where maybe a kid gets sick or can't make it, or they've got practice for something else. Candy is only for the kids that are present, kind of thing.
Okay.
So we don't want strollers necessarily in the building, so we'll have a stroller check in and out area before they walk into the building.
Okay.
We'll have some food trucks. We'll have food vendors out there. So after they're done,
It's a big party.
It's a big party. Yeah, we've got DJ Broida, who's going
Okay.
to be on the ones and twos, mixing it up.
DJ Officer Broida.
Yeah, I say Broida. Yeah, Officer Broida.
He just braided us, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does it take you, once you get in, how long does it take you to get through things?
If you're going through just the front door, not waiting in line, I would say at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at least 30 minutes. If you're going to go through the scary and then back upstairs and then go back around. And so we've also included City Hall South. So we've got several of our city partners
Wow.
that are participating. So you've
expanding.
got it's expanded. So the last this year and last year, we included City Hall South. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely, I think that what's neat about this too, on a whole nother level for us as employees of the city, is that kind of like at the police department, when a call for service happens, the comm center gets it first, and then it's dispatched to patrol, and then whatever disposition it is, then maybe it goes to investigations or whoever touches it at different points. Kind of like the city as well. Like, this is one night where we get to work on the same project at the same time for our community. You know what I mean? It's always more like, okay, tag you're in,
Yeah.
tag you're out. This person jumps in
your turn.
and out. Yeah. Where, again, as a team
Yeah.
of folks who serve our community, we get to all do this same project, same time for our community. It's super cool kind of thing. Like one of those unintentional things that just kind of helps drive some of that inspiration. I don't know, it feels good.
That's awesome.
I can be kind of nerdy sometimes, so I broke it down to the numbers and I go, you think about the numbers last year, almost 7,000. 7,000 people walking through the front doors of the police department with hundreds of city employees. That's hundreds of thousands of opportunities for engagement.
Yeah.
That's hundreds of thousands of opportunities to change cultural divides, to change hearts, to change
Perception.
minds, to change
Yeah.
perceptions. And that is huge in our community. So I can't reinforce that enough about how big of an opportunity this is for our community to come out and interact with the police department. It's invaluable in what we do. And also, I'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our community partners. As big of a logistical lift as this is for the city, we could not do this without the support from our community.
Yeah.
So at our local Albertsons and Vaughn's, community members purchase the candy and donate it to us, and that's the candy that gets delivered to us.
Cool.
In addition to Walmart and Target, who as organizations donate a good amount of candy to us. So
I didn't realize that.
so
That's awesome.
So even leading up to the day of the week of the event, if they want to go to a local Vaughn's or Albertsons and purchase some candy and donate it to
Actually,
us.
till the 21st this year.
Oh, to the 21st.
21st,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So.
But we couldn't do it without those community partners. I mean, all the candy is donated. I mean,
So
to an extent, there's been a couple years where the chief has had to go buy some candy because we're running a
that was
little
the first
low.
Yeah.
But
first
we
year.
couldn't do it without them.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And you talk about full circle community support. Albertsons had reached out and said, "Hey, is there anything we can do like to help?" And they offered that, like, "Hey, we could do this," because they've done collections for other nonprofits or other drives, kind of thing. And so we like to offer this to you guys, and we're like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And then you see all these managers coming in these trucks. Like I want to say it was like 12 trucks loaded with candy, and they are hauling like professionals. I'm like, I would break my back, but watching them work and you talk about they're advocating for the police department, for the community is making this happen. Could not 1,000% not do this event without our community.
Yeah.
Could not. So I mean, just the full circle in that kind of thing, and I think it just speaks volumes about the relationship that is Bakersfield. We start talking, oh, so-and-so knows so-and-so. Yeah, that's just Bakersfield, or, these different things. But truly, this event is truly a community event.
That's awesome. Yeah, so everybody, if you're listening and you're interested, it's Hal-LAW-een. It's at the Bakersfield Police Department headquarters on Truxtun Avenue downtown, and it will be on Thursday, October 30th, between 4 and 8 p.m. Make sure you're in line before 8 p.m. if you want to go through the through the event and everything and be there and get your candy. So yeah, we hope everybody comes out. We want to see those big numbers again, right, guys?
Yes.
Absolutely. Bigger the better.
Awesome.
If you ask me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Carina Ortiz and Sergeant Eric Celedon, thank you guys for joining us on the podcast today, and we appreciate it. We hope you guys have an awesome event this year.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
thank you.
America.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, so you don't ever miss an episode. And with that, we'll wrap up. And thank you all for listening, and thanks for our guests.